Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Dan Wang, U.S. Marketing Director at Hasselblad. Thanks for joining us, Dan.
Thanks for having me along.
Well, so much publicity going on about the 50th anniversary of the first man on the moon, the lunar landing of Apollo 11, and Hasselblad played a big role in that and in other space missions as well. Give us a bit of an overview of the tie-in here.
Definitely. Well, the partnership or the tie between space exploration and Hasselblad is certainly a proud one for us. It began with the Gemini and Mercury missions, where our 500C camera, one of our first modular cameras, was adopted quite naturally as the higher-end camera of choice, alongside many others for different specialties, and culminated in what we're celebrating today with the 50th anniversary of the Apollo 11 landing on the moon. It would continue forward with further partnership well into the shuttle era in the early 2000s, but for one stands as a indicator of the professional standard of our product, and one that we're very, very thankful to have been part of.
And there are really some iconic images out there that have been taken with the Hasselblad cameras.
Definitely. When people think of the imagery of the moon, I mean, it's one where the Hasselblad system, and by nature of the medium format film technology at the time, were able to capture stunning high quality images. So the blue marble, which is regarded as kind of one of those first views of the entire Earth, admittedly not the first view of the Earth, but one of the first kind of high quality, high distribution images that was seen, that really pushed forward and excelled space exploration, because it allowed people to get an understanding of what we were seeing, and really allowed humankind to see the perspective from space. And also just that beautiful image of just mankind exploring the surface of the moon. You know, we're very thankful to have been part of that process and documenting with a Hasselblad camera. At the time, they were using on the lunar surface modified 500 EL cameras, which was a motorized electronic version of our film system cameras, which shot a 6x6 image. In response and in good partnership between our engineers at the time and the NASA facilities team and photography team, we would go in and make changes to the mechanics in order to prevent risk of electrical spark, prevent outgassing, removing the lubricants, because they boil off when in zero gravity. So making sure that the product was reliable, making sure that they could come home with the stunning sights that they saw in person on the surface of the moon.
And there was actually one of those cameras attached to the chest of Neil Armstrong, right?
Correct. So in many ways, we wanted to many things you have to worry about when you're doing the first extravehicular exploration on the surface. So it was physically attached to the spacesuit, and included a larger shutter plate or shutter button so that it could be actuated with thick protective gloves. So a 60 millimeter lens, which is considered relatively wide angle for the 6x6 centimeter film format. And all he would have to do is kind of gesture, point his body in the general direction. And part of the training that was completed on the ground in Houston was an understanding of, given your position in perspective with the sun, the Earth's surface, the lunar surface, this is the recommended exposure setting. So not necessarily kind of guess and hope, but a certain amount of degree of hope and certain amount of degree of inaccuracy was part of the process. But we're thinking, or our thought is that the results that came back are absolutely stunning.
Absolutely. Now, Hasselblad, to commemorate this, is out with a special edition camera, the 907X. Tell us about that.
Sure. So the 907X special edition is very much in a very strong celebration of our history in space exploration. It's a variant of the 907X and CFV2 products that we announced earlier this summer in June, which are really a unique camera unlike any other. So it exists in two modular components. The first is a CFV2, which is a digital back designed for our V system cameras, which has backwards compatibility dating over 70 years. And what's really stunning is that the front of the camera, which is the camera body, the 907X portion of it, allows users to take a very small, very compact part of the system, attach it to the digital back, and use Hasselblad's cutting-edge XCD lenses, all lenses with beautiful, stunning, modern design and integral leaf shutter and all the kind of conveniences of a modern electronic camera platform. So it really means that one can take the digital back, attach it to a camera from the 50s or 60s, and then in a matter of seconds also swap to a completely modern system with a touchscreen interface, with electronic exposure control, everything that one would expect out of a modern camera. Now, the special edition is unique in that it's being produced in a limited quantity batch with a very specific black colorway on the exterior of the camera, along with an inscription plate that celebrates our 50 years on the moon, or on the moon since 1969. And we think that for both creators of visual images and the absolute, people who really appreciate stunning, beautiful aesthetic objects, this camera responds to both. At the core of it is a 50 megapixel image sensor. It's 33 by 44 millimeters, so about 1.7 times larger than traditional full-frame cameras, and features built-in Wi-Fi, built-in GPS, USB Type-C connectivity, all of the leading and cutting-edge features of our modern medium-format camera systems.
Well, I'll take a big gulp here and ask you about pricing and availability.
Sure thing. The 907X Special Edition is being introduced at $7,500 before tax. The availability hasn't been fully confirmed yet.
But it's coming soon, I assume, since it's a commemorative camera.
Quite soon. Yeah.
For more information and even to see some of these images, people can find you online, right?
That's correct. They can find us online at Hasselblad.com, and I encourage them to take a look at our social media platforms, which is just at Hasselblad. Throughout the month, we've been posting a number of historical images, and as someone who is natively from Houston and who has a family that's part of the space exploration community, it is really cool to see the history of Hasselblad tied closely to going to the moon and even beyond.
Really awesome, Dan. Again, it's spelled Hasselblad, Hasselblad.com. Dan Wank, thanks for taking the time with us.
Thank you for having me on.
Now this. Innovation. Hi, I'm Fred Fishkin, and I've been covering consumer technology for a long time, and it takes a lot to impress me. That's why I'm excited to tell you about the latest way to enjoy cooking in the great outdoors from my friend Patrick Sherwin and his great team at GoSun Stove. What if you could harness the sun to cook your meals anywhere you go, day or night? The GoSun Fusion arrives this summer using the company's tried and true reflectors and a solar vacuum tube to get you cooking without the mess of charcoal, heavy propane tanks, or smoke. And with an optional solar panel and battery storage, and the ability to plug in at home or on the road, you really can use the GoSun Fusion to cook anytime and anywhere. Want to learn more? Head to gosun.co and use the code TEXTINATION to save 10%. That's gosun.co.